quite obvious also is the impact of religion on your work. Right? I mean, the opulence of the Catholic Church, the costumes, the Vatican obviously must have been very inspirational, fascinating to you. How religious was your personal upbringing? Have you been?
Not very. I'd say that in my main home, which was with my mother and my brother, there's always been spiritualism, I would say. We're definitely not like atheists, but it was more infused by the idea of there being greater things than what we know. Mm-hmm. But that takes the tools that we use to trigger these feelings is from pop cultural powers rather than scripture. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. No. You know, the power of rock and roll, the power of film, the power of a good book, the power of, and that combined sort of gives us a hint that there might be something that we cannot explain. Whereas myself being a little bit more of a like an opposer, mm-hmm. When it came to religion. I was very much I became anti-religion or anti-organized religion. I'm not against religion. I'm not against being religious, but I'm against organize the scriptures because we know perfectly well that they are basically manifests put together by other people in order to control the rest.
Absolutely.
That is what and that's not even a secret. Mm.
So. Did you ever get in trouble with, being Papa Emeritus 1, 2, 3, trading dresses? Did you ever had any problems with radical Christians like in the USA or wherever? Did you ever get a shitstorm or a threat or whatever from those people?
Nothing substantial, no. I think that just because but the project, the band has never had like an outspoken like negative mm-hmm. agenda. We never told anyone to commit crimes.
But the Catholic Church, for example, is they don't have that much humor, I guess. And I mean, on ghost shows are in the style of an occult worship. Hosts are distributed, fogwafts across the stage. All this theatrically camp and very playful humor that you have on stage could be getting totally misunderstood by extremely Christians. That's what I thought.
I guess so. I am open to the idea that as the band grows and to whatever extent we become bigger, I'm sure that there will be more focus on those things because there's a reason for D-side getting negative press, positive press, if you will, or Judas Priest in the 80s, or Ozzy Osbourne, because they were huge. That was why. No, Angel Witch never got any negative press like that, or Profanatica didn't get that, or Necrophagia never got that, because they were virtually unknown. So usually it doesn't correlate with the amount of effort you put into your image. It's basically if you have a heavy metal image with everything that comes with it, for lack of a better way to say it, and you become big enough, people will oppose. Marilyn Manson, of course, is a very good example. as we go bigger, we attract more people from both sides. Of course, we sort of pick up people that are on the outskirts, on the interim of society, for a positive thing, because they see a connection with our band, and they like to become part of that. Great. But for every person in the interim in the smaller cities where organized religion has a stronger grip, that will also rise, that will catch the attention of people who are opposed to bands like that, opposed to. So I'm sure that if we continue to grow, there will be, I can probably answer your question 5 years from now and say maybe my answer will be different. But so far, it hasn't been like a big thing. I mean, there's been this, that, and the others, but small things. But it has never been a problem to me.
I've been speaking about humor previously. I mean, what I like about the humor inside of what you're doing is, I mean, how much humor does such a concept tolerate? I mean, before it gets silly, and you never cross that border, you never cross that line. I mean, I like those clips that you did, those Ghost chapter 1, 2, 3 and stuff, and they're quite humorous. They got a very, and they are quite successful. This YouTube channel works pretty well, and it's pretty funny, but it doesn't affect the music. The music is still seriously enough. Nothing ever feels silly, and that's a very, very, very small border, isn't it? You have to take care.
Yes.
To not,
of course,
overact the humor aspects of it.
Right. That I guess you have to. You have a nice word for that, Fingerspitzengefühl.
Right.
That you need to use. And I think so far, intuition can sort of guide me in my ways of choosing what to do and not to do. And so far, knock wood, it seems to be people are okay with it. But yeah, I mean that whole side exercise is a little bit strange, because originally it came from basically the people that we work with, like in terms of like record label. They were I guess I wouldn't say complaining, but there was like an open question, like what's the story? Like, what is the, we need a story. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you want? Like, Ghost, here's a good record. That's good, right? Yeah, but we need to have something like a story to tell the people. I was like, but you can't tell the story, because that, I mean, I don't want to talk about like myself. I don't want to, there's no story to tell. Okay, but that's a little bit of a problem. And I was like, okay, I'll give you a story then.
So you gave them more stories.
Yeah, so you like here you go. Here is things that you can here are like things that you can work with.